Good morning, students. This is Harcharan Singh, PGT English, Cambridge International School, Dasua. And I hope you all are fit, fine, and healthy at your homes and studying well. Students, there are two textbooks, Hornbill and Snapshots, and we are reading Snapshots. We are reading the second chapter, that is the address written by Marga Mengo. As we had discussed, this chapter is about one girl who, after the war, she goes in search of few things that her mother had given to one lady, Mrs. Darling. And because we are reading the address, that is the second chapter, and it's written by Marga Minko. This chapter is about the human predicament, that is before and after the war, the difficulties that humans face because of war. The war is going on, and the narrator's mother, she gives few expensive things to one lady, Mrs. Darling, because in case they have to leave the house, they can lose everything. So it's better to give those things to Mrs. Darling. After the war is over and the narrator's mother has died, the narrator goes in search of those things because those things remind her of her mother and they are related with the mother. The narrator is a young girl, and she goes to the address that her mother had given to her. She rang the bell and asked the woman who was standing at the door if she knew her. The lady opened the door only little bit, and the narrator came closer to the door and stood there. The woman responded negatively and told that she did not know her. And the narrator gave her introduction that she was Mrs. S. daughter. The woman had held the door tightly as she did not want her to come closer or to enter the house. She kept staring at the narrator, though she did not recognize her. The narrator thought maybe she had come to the wrong address. She had seen the woman only for a very little time, and that many years back. The woman who answered the door stepped aside and let go of the door. When the door was opened, the narrator, she recognized the green cardigan that the woman had worn. That was her mother's knitted cardigan, and she remembered that the wooden buttons had become pale because of overwashing. The woman noticed that the narrator, she was looking at the cardigan. She hid behind the door, and now the narrator was very much sure that she was on the right address. The narrator asked the woman about her mother. The woman asked if she had come back. She replied only to her, and no one else came with her. The woman opened the door, and a passage was behind her. A stale smell occurred all over. The woman told the narrator that she couldn't do anything for her. The narrator then told her that she had come from a far place by train and she wanted to talk to her only for few moments. The lady told that was not convenient for her to talk at that time and told the narrator to come some other time. The narrator was still standing on the steps. She saw a curtain moving on the window bay, and somebody in the house asked the woman who was there, and she told no one was there. The narrator again looked at the nameplate, and the nameplate it was written number 46, and Darling was also written on the plate with white enamel. When the narrator was going back to the station, she was thinking about her mother, who gave her the address, and that happened during the first half of the war. The narrator had come home for a few days, and suddenly she noticed that the things were different in the house. Many things were missing from the house. And when she asked the mother was surprised that the narrator had noticed the changes a little later. It was the time when she told about that woman, Mrs. Darling. She was an old contact of hers whom she hadn't seen for years. Suddenly she came to visit her, and since then they were in regular contact. The mother told her daughter, that is the narrator, the mother told that whenever that woman comes to their house, she takes something from the house with her. She had taken table silvers, antique plates, and she had a lot of trouble over carrying the large vases. She told her that the cramp in her back came from the crockery. Her mother shook her head in sorrow. The woman kept telling the narrator's mother that she wanted to save her precious things. If they had to leave the place someday, they would lose everything. So, students, the thing that you need to understand here, the war is going on, and the narrator and her family they can have to leave the house at any time. So if they leave the house and their costly things will be ruined or will be destroyed, they will lose everything. So narrator's mother thought it's better rather than to lose everything, it's better to give those things to Mrs. Darling, and when the war will be over, they will get their things back from Mrs. Darling. And that is why every time Mrs. Darling came to their house, she would carry things with her. The narrator asked her mother if she really wanted her to take all the things with her. The mother replied that even if she didn't, it would be an insult to ask her not to. She was going out with a risk herself, a suitcase full of items. So that is why Mrs. Darling, every time she comes to the narrator's house and she takes few things. The narrator's mother felt one thing, that her daughter was not happy. The way the mother was giving everything to Mrs. Darling, she was not happy and she was not convinced by the logic. And after that, the narrator and her mother they did not talk anything about the things. Now, students, the story is in present. At present, the narrator is going back to the station from Mrs. Darling's house, but she was thinking about that time. That was during the first half of the war when she had seen Mrs. Darling at their house. So I hope you are understanding. So this time, when she asked her mother that she was not happy, and after that they did not talk anything about the things. And in the meantime, the narrator reached the station. And on the way, when she was going to the station, she did not want to pay attention to the things around because she was walking in familiar places again for the first time since the war, and she did not want to go further than was necessary. She did not want to upset herself with the sights of streets and houses full of memories of the time when the past was very pleasant. Again, the narrator saw Mrs. Darling on a person a day after her mother told her daughter about her. That day, the narrator had got up late, and when she was going downstairs, she saw the lady carrying things, and she noticed Mrs. Darling was a lady with a broad back. The mother was seeing her out. Mrs. Darling was going out of their house. The mother introduced the narrator to the lady. She told Mrs. Darling to meet her daughter, and she signaled to her, and the woman responded with a nod. She picked the suitcase under the coat rack. She was wearing a brown coat and a shapeless hat. The narrator asked her mother if she lived far away, because at that time the narrator could not understand that she was taking things. She saw the suitcase and thought that she lived far away. The mother told her no, she did not live far away. She lived at the Marconi Street, number 46. And the narrator remembered it. That was the first time the narrator's mother had given her the address of Mrs. Darling. The narrator said she remembered the address that the mother had given to her, but it took her a very long time to go to that place. Because after the war was over and they had got freedom, she was on one hand not interested, and on the other hand, she was afraid of those things. She was afraid of getting confronted with the past memories and connections that no longer existed. Connections were hidden in cupboards and boxes. That she means those things are lying somewhere in cupboards and boxes, and that seemed that those memories were waiting in vain to put them back to their places, as they had suffered all these years because they were only things. When the things were getting normal in the narrator's life, one day she got curious about all those things, and those things were at that address, Marconi Street, number 46, that was given to by her mother. She wanted to see them, she wanted to touch them. After the first hopeless visit, she decided to try once more. She went to Mrs. Darling's house the second time, and this time, when she knocked, one girl, 15-year-old girl, opened the door. She was Mrs. Darling's daughter. The narrator asked her about her mother, and the girl told that the mother was at the backside and she was doing some kind of work there. And the narrator told her that she would wait for her. Okay, students, what we read today, I'm going to recap that. We read after when the narrator was not recognized by Mrs. Darling, she was going back to the station, and she started thinking about the past time, those times that was the first half of the war, and that time when she was at home and she had seen Mrs. Darling for the first time there. The narrator's mother told her that whenever that woman came to visit her, she took something from the house with her. She had taken table silvers, antique plates, and she had trouble over carrying the large vase. She told her that the cramp in her back came from the crockery. Her mother shook her head in sorrow. The woman kept telling the narrator's mother that she wanted to save her precious things. If they had to leave the place someday, they would lose everything. And the narrator's mother also wants, if they have to leave the house because of war, they can lose their things. So it's better Mrs. Darling should take their things to her home. The narrator asked her mother if she really wanted her to take all the things with her. The mother replied that even she did not, it would be an insult to ask her not to. She was going out with a risk herself, a suitcase full of items. The mother noticed that the narrator was not convinced. The narrator is her daughter. She looked at her critically. After that day, they never talked about those things. During the meantime, the narrator reached the station and she did not want to pay attention to anything on the way. She passed the familiar things after the war for the first time. She did not want to upset herself with the familiar sights of houses and streets that reminded her of all the precious times. Back in the time, she saw Mrs. Darling in person a day after her mother told her daughter about her. The next morning, when the narrator first time saw Mrs. Darling carrying things from their house, the second day she got up late in the morning, and that when the narrator, after getting up, was coming downstairs, she saw one lady with a broad back. She was going out and the mother was seeing her off. At this, the mother introduced that woman to the narrator, and she told she had picked up a suitcase under the coat rack. She was wearing a brown coat and a shapeless hat. The narrator asked her mother where she lived. On this, the mother told the narrator, her daughter, the address of Mrs. Darling, that was Marconi Street, number 46. And since then, the narrator remembered the address. She remembered the address but did not want to go there. She was free. After the war is over, they had got freedom, and she was, on one hand, not interested in all those things. One more thing, she was afraid of all those things. She did not want to face those things that are related to a person who is no more, because those things, those connections were hidden in cupboards and boxes, and it seemed that those memories were waiting in vain to put them back to their places, as they had suffered all these years because they were only things. Things were getting normal in the narrator's life after the war, and now one day she got curious about all the things and she wanted to go on that address. She wanted to see them and touch them. After the first hopeless visit, she decided to go the second time. And this time, when she reached Mrs. Darling's house, one girl of 15 years old, she opened the door, and probably she was Mrs. Darling's daughter. And when the narrator asked her about her mother, she told the mother was at the backside of the house and doing some kind of work there. And the narrator told her that she would wait for her mother. Thank you.